Chris, I'm at the duct entrance. Where are you? In the building right above the duct you're in. Pretty near. I'm about to find out what I can hear. How? I got an enemy trooper uniform. It should let me blend in and listen in. Chris. Don't worry. I'll find out where the researchers are. Don't overdo it. I know. I'll go up to your floor and we'll rendezvous. There. I'll be disguised, so no codec contact. Make voice contact when I'm alone. Alright. But aren't you wearing the same uniform as the enemy? How am I supposed to spot you amongst all the enemy soldiers? What about my hairstyle? I have my hair tied up at the back. You should be able to recognize me from that, okay? Hairstyle, huh? Even among the GLF soldiers, there are heaps of guys with long hair. Yeah, you're right. Okay. How about if I wear a red cap? Alright. If I see a soldier wearing a red cap with long hair, tied up at the back, it must be you. Got it. Right. Snake. See you soon. God, I hate that text scrolling speed. Snake. Rendezvous with Sergeant Jenner. She's in the watchtower above. Get through the duct and gain entry to the tower. And now I do my usual saving thing, where I also reset the dialogue to my own pace, if I recall correctly. Either way, hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel. In the last part, we started off the actual gameplay, and now we're in Mission 3. And we're not going to get past Mission 3 this part. Well, no, we're getting past Mission 3, but we're not going to be getting into Mission 4, because Mission 3 onwards are kind of long. Rats. Either way, in this first few sections, the path is pretty linear, but one thing you should watch out for is the darker areas of the floor, like the one I just passed. That doesn't look like it, but that is actually water. And if you walk in it, you will attract attention due to the sound. So watch out for that. And hey, more rats. More rats in this sewer than in the entirety of Mirror's Edge. Man, that's a really random time for me to reference that game. Oh well. By the way, there's ladders here. Those will come into handy later. Are you still hanging around here? You've already been ordered to withdraw from this area. Withdrawal? I haven't heard anything about that. What's going on? There's a squall coming. The river's already flooded. And there's gonna be a whole lot of water around here soon. First I heard of it. Murder if I'd stayed here. You get the idea. Come on! There's no time to lose. Now the room they're going in, you actually cannot follow them, by the way. Also, what the hell is a murder? I'm gonna need to Google that now. Either way, you might hear in the background, there's some low rumbling. That's because this section has a bit of a gimmick. And here we can see it. Very blatantly. There's a whole lot of water. What we have to do in this section is hold on to the ladders so that you can actually get swept away, so you don't get swept away by the water. However, if you're not holding onto a water, you will get swept back to a previous screen. Or at least to the previous sewer gate. You need to hold onto ladders, otherwise you're going to get swept away. And as you can see, it does a decent chunk of damage. I don't know if it can kill you, though. However, I'll admit, this is not my best playthrough of this section. In fact, I hate this section. I always have. So I'm speeding it up from here on out, just so you don't have to see me in my full-timed failures here. And while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to look up what the hell that murder thing is. It's from the French murder. It's French for shit. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. I see what you did there, Konami. Also, the sound of design during this section is really annoying, because whenever the water comes by, you get a really high-pitched whooshing sound effect right out of one of the Mega Man Extreme games, actually. In fact, a lot of the sound effects in this sound like they're from Mega Man Extreme, particularly when you hit something. Also, there's some R5 ammo there if you need it. I don't, because I barely use my weapons this playthrough. And up here, we get Cardboard Box Y for yellow. Our good old friend, the box returns, and it works like it has previously. When you're in it, you're more or less invisible unless you're seen moving. Though I forget if this is the game, this game, rather, carries on the thing from Metal Gear Solid that if you're not placed in a very conspicuous place, they'll be suspicious of you. Sorry, my speaking seems to be worse today for some particular reason that I'm not completely aware of. Welp, had to happen at some point. And AI Snake takes over for this ladder climb for some reason. If only it could have done that in Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake. Rendezvous with the Sergeant Jenner. She should be somewhere in the tower with you. Remember that she's disguised. Contact her when she's alone so that the enemy won't be alerted. She has long hair, tied up at the back, and is wearing a red cap. I know. Long hair, tied up at the back, and a red cap. No problem. That could be a partial problem if there's like 70 of them, which thankfully there isn't. And yeah, welcome to the Watchtower. To this point, I'd like to note that a lot of the stuff in this game you may have seen at this point seems pretty familiar. That's because the best way I can describe Ghost Battle from a gameplay aspect is that it's Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake on the Game Boy Color. It more or less plays the exact same way. Heck, if you get spotted, when you get spotted more accurately in this game, because it's going to happen eventually, the encounter theme is the exact same as it was in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, albeit remixed for a Game Boy sound card chip thing, technical aspects. And I'll admit the rest of this mission's pretty boring because it's just a samey base. So I might as well get into what I've been doing recently in terms of gaming. I've recently just finally replayed The Evil Within. And by replayed, I mean my disc actually broke on my PS3, so I rebought the game for my PS4. And I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. I still think the only really scary things in that game are Laura, because there's something about that Grudge lookalike that just kind of instills terror in my heart. Oh, a call. Snake. Looks like there's an infrared sensor rigged there. The alarm will go off if you break the beam. The infrared wavelength is invisible to the human eye, but it should be detectable if the beam passes through vapors or smoke. Do you have anything that can produce smoke or gas? This sounds familiar from Solid Snake, and that's because it is. If you put on your cigarettes, you'll be actually able to see infrared beams. However, unlike Solid Snake, you actually have to get close to the beam for it to be visible. Because if you might recall back in Solid Snake, once you equipped your cigarettes, suddenly everything was visible. I don't get how that works, but I'll take it. Actually, no, wait. I'm thinking of the infrared goggles from Solid Snake. My bad, never mind. Don't you love it when stuff like that happens? Because stuff gets mixed up in my head a lot. Oh, and using rations in this game is weird. You have to go into the menu, select the rations on the item menu, and then press B of all buttons. That's not the button I would think to use items with. Unless it's a Zelda game. But then again, B should be the sword button, not the item button, Zelda 1. Even though, technically speaking, Zelda 1 is the only one that technically did that wrong. Because it was the first one, and technically speaking, the sword is the primary action, which is what A is generally mapped to, rather. Either way, this section's pretty simple. We actually have to get up to this corner of the room before we can progress anywhere else, because up here we get the gas mask. Now, you actually do need this, and keep it in the store for later, because we'll be coming back here through another method. Because there is a gas-filled room somewhere else that I did not enter. Because I needed the gas mask in order to get through it without taking either a death of damage or a lot of damage. And we're actually a couple rooms back. If you were following along, you recognize it. And now we want to enter this room and then equip the gas mask. And that's poison gas. Hello, Codec. Snake. Gas. You've got to hold your breath in the gas. Your O2 gauge will go down. Once it runs out, your life will take a hard hit. Put on your gas mask. That way you can get through with the gas without holding your breath and come out of that room alive. And now I'm just starting to skip through the text scroll because it takes way too long. Doesn't stop some cutscenes from being upwards of 5 minutes, though, because this game, for some reason, wants to be Metal Gear Solid on the Game Boy Color. When really, you don't need all those cutscenes. And here's a really curious... Oh, wait, never mind. I could have sworn there was no door there, so I was wondering why the gas suddenly stopped. Never mind. Either way, down here we get card key number 2. And vocal failure. Ghost Babel is the first game we've played here on the channel, well, aside from the original Metal Gear Solid LP, where they did something really good with the key cards. They stack. Level 1 key card is no longer in your inventory, but level 2 is, and level 2 will work for both level 2 doors and level 1 doors. Also, I got spotted because that guy should not have been able to turn around that quickly. But hey, it means that some doors are already open for me. Technically speaking, you might be able to actually do this in order to speedrun the game, but don't quote me on that. I'm not good with the speedrunning knowledges. Come on, elevator. Get down here. There's guys up here. Oh, God. And wow, yeah, this is Solid Snake. Or Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. It's weird to refer to that game by its subtitle because that's technically the name of the main character, and yeah. I still can't get over how good that walking animation is. I'm a real sucker for really detailed animations. I can't help it. I was like that in Symphony of the Night, too, when I first played that. Though I forget if I gushed over that enough in the LP. Probably not. And this room kind of sucks. There's a room similar to this back in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake in the building north of the desert. But right now we got a lot of guards. We need to keep on avoiding them until we can get to the left wall because these guys actually have a pretty decent patrol. But you might notice there's those little divots in the floor there, on the wall there rather. Like in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, you can crawl under those and you'll be hidden from sight. Though a weird little detail that's different from Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake is that Snake, when he's fully enveloped underneath there, he'll actually peek out from underneath it just to show you where you are in an exact positioning. I don't get that from a game. Well, I get why that's there, so you can tell where you are, but it's kind of stupid from a perspective aspect because it looks like I should be able to be spotted because he's very much out in the open still. Oh well. Hey, guy. Bye, guy. You know what's really weird, though? I actually don't know exactly what goes into the mission timing in this game. Because very clearly, sometimes the missions will be upwards of like 10 minutes, but it says the in-game timer is like 3. In fact, I know the speedrun for this game is like an hour, a general speedrun for this game is like an hour and a half real time, but it's like 54 minutes in-game. Oh god, I got spotted, but I don't care because the doors to the north here will actually cancel any alert phases you're in. Knowledge like that's good to have, by the way. Either way, let's put back keep card back on and walk through here. And you're gonna want to knock out and possibly even kill this guard in particular. I go for the kill because I don't trust my luck. And look at this. Long-haired soldier, red cap. Snake, it's me. Follow me. And very anticlimactically, that is the end of Mission 3. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in Part 3, we'll be heading into Mission 4, possibly even Mission 5, depending on how well things go. See you guys then.